Hi guys, this is Gun.Plapla here with you again for another review. Let's skip the mods and the metal frames and all that and focus on Bandai's more recent releases. This time, the Real Grade Gundam Epyon, number 38 in the Real Grade line. A bit of intro for you guys. Well, for those guys who are definitely younger than 25, this of course featured this Epyon featured in the 90s anime Gundam Wing. Uh, Piloted, of course, by Miliardo Craft or Zex Marquis. And this guy fought opposite the Wing Zero Gundam, piloted, of course, by Hiro Yui. So, with that, let's go on straight to the review with some build notes. Let's go over some build notes now. So, this is what I would say is a kit for intermediate builders. Of course, this is a modern real grade kit, so you have to assemble the inner frame from scratch, not like the pre-assembled inner frames from earlier real grades. Of course, there are some interesting build variations when you're trying to build the forearms, the hips, and the legs. All of that has to do with the transformation, which we will show later on. This is also a medium-sized real grade kit, so there are not a lot of small parts, unlike, of course, the real grade crossbone, which is, I think, the smallest in the real grade line. There are difficult small parts to clean up and attach to the kit with that. But here, you wouldn't have that problem. This kit is also undergated, so even if the hue of the plastic is darker, with the maroons and the navy blues and the dark grays and the reds, those knobs will not show here because they're all undergated. So this is a very, very, very easy cleanup. Some tips now, when first handling the pre-assembled heat whip, follow the instructions on how to loosen it up. That is the only part of this kit that is pre-built, and in order for you to get the most out of that, or in order for you not to break it, you really have to follow the instructions in the manual. Also, this is more of a recommendation. I would recommend not to apply the stickers for the eyes. This is because if you do that, then you would miss out on the light pass-through that this kit has. Those eyes just funnel in light from the back. So depending on your camera angle and light source, you could make it look like this kit has actually glowing eyes. Continuing on to its looks now, when it comes to size, I would say that this is a medium-sized real grade. It is definitely smaller than the real grade new, but it is taller than the tiny, tiny, tiny real grade crossbow Gundam. This is not one for one with anime. The wings are different, the talons and the forearm are different, the general dimensions of the kit are different, but it still definitely captures that evil aesthetic from the anime. Now, the colors here look great. Now, there are deep reds, there are maroons, navy blues, and white, and all of that create enough contrast between them to stand out so that the kit does not look monotone even from a distance. Now, the light pass-through in the eyes is a cool gimmick, and with proper lighting and the correct camera angle, you can definitely show that the eyes are in fact glowing. The clear parts in green also liven up the general dark color scheme. In particular here is that green part on the chest. Now, the part separation here really accentuates the segmented and layered armor. This is, of course, in particular when we talk about the legs and the wings. I mean, the part separation there and just the layering is just awesome. Definitely not like any other Gundam that you have seen or built before. Now, also speaking of the armor, parts of that armor are with holes that show off some of the inner frame. So that means that for those who like painting some of that inner frame, that is definitely good news, as it will definitely show in some places. That would be on the lower legs, in the shoulder armor, and many other parts here. Now, it's not all sunshine and rainbows though. I'm not really sure about the size of that shoulder armor. I mean, it definitely looks bigger. It looks bigger compared to the head of the Epyon and its body. So I'm not really sure about I'm not really sure how I feel about those shoulder armor. And unfortunately, the included sticker style decals show its borders visibly. I mean, this is dark plastic, so the borders in those real grade sticker style decals will definitely show. And for me, it definitely ruins some parts of the kit. So I would definitely advise that if you can get hold of water slide decals for this kit, then I would advise using that instead of the included sticker style decals. This is the Real Grade Epyon with everything that it comes with. Now, first, we have here the shield and the heat whip combo. Next is the Epyon's primary weapon. We have the beam saber, comes with the handle right here, as well as these green tech parts. Then the cable that attaches the beam saber to the side skirt. Two closed fist hands, two holding hands, one open expressive hand, two action-based adapters, one for mobile suit mode and the other for mobile armor mode. Alright then, so heading on over to articulation, let's start from the head going down. Of course, head can look up, let's look down that much. There's some forward, backward and forwards movement there. Head can twist 360 degrees, as well as lean in side to side by that much. Heading on over to the shoulders, the shoulder mechanism in the torso itself can move up as much as that. Okay, and then the arm itself can move up as much as that. Okay, so aside from being able to move up like that, pushing it back down, the shoulders can pop forward as much as that. Okay, also move back as far as that. A little block here by the wing connection assembly there, but it can move as far as that. The arm itself can rotate 360 degrees, just like that, and the elbow joint can bend, but moving the talons here out of the way for a second, the elbow joint can bend as much as that. That's not quite 180 degrees, but that's pretty good articulation right there. An interesting joint here in the arms is that here close to the wrist. This wrist can move inward as much as that. This is probably related to the transformation later on, but I kind of wish that this joint also moved outward as much as it did moving inward. I mean, right here it's quite limited by the armor and the joint itself, but since this is a kit whose primary weapon is a sword, it would have been nice if that would move a little more outward so that it can execute some nice slashing poses. I think that's a missed opportunity here, but all in all, the arm articulation is quite good actually. Let's do the wings now. The wings here are a bit of a mixed bag for me. The only issue actually that I found here is that the wings do not actually flap back any more than that. I mean, that's it. So that is as much as it can flap back. Of course, that joint here is limited by this armor panel here. Okay, so that's why it cannot swing, or it cannot flap back as much as it should. Okay, so that's a bit disappointing. I mean, it would have been nice to be able to flap the wings back as much as at least 90 degrees, but that's a bit limited here. What is interesting, however, is that the wings, actually, when you try to extend them, there's a host of mechanisms here. So if you if seated on its regular position here, if you just swing it upward, okay, that would deploy the mechanism that pulls out these two wing panels. Okay, so again, doing that again, just pull it up, deploy. But you can also do something like this. I mean, you can bend the wing at this point, okay, and then swing it further forward. So that would raise the wings at that much of an angle. So I mean that's pretty interesting. And you could also undeploy those, or rather retract those extra wing panels and just extend the wing upward that way. Okay, up next is the torso here, and of course torso has an ab crunch as much as that. Yes, we can pull it out a bit more, and that. Okay, so that gives a bit more of an ab crunch, and then ab extension, and pulling it back as much as that. And when you pull it back, you just have to manually re-engage the armor like that, so it wouldn't look too weird. Okay, so it comes side to side. That is it. All the way to the right, and then all the way to the left. Okay, and that is how far the torso goes. This is actually a pretty good gun. I mean, it's strong enough to hold on to the weight of the wings, and it doesn't really collapse under. It won't really collapse unless, of course, if you shake it. But even then, this is a pretty stiff joint. Okay, now moving down to the articulation here at the hips. The front skirts can move as far forward as that. These are attached on ball joints, and wiggle a bit. The side skirt can move up as far as that without popping it off. The butt skirt here does not move at all. I mean, it's just static here and would definitely hinder some of the leg articulation. Speaking of the leg articulation, the legs can move up to its side as far as that without popping off the side skirts. And for the forward kicks, move forward, okay, as much as that. So I think that's pretty decent. And like we mentioned earlier, but before that actually, interesting moving armor gimmick here. I think it's probably related to the transformation, but when you swing down the thighs, this particular piece of armor moves into the leg. So something like that. And like I said earlier, the static butt flap definitely limits the swing movement of the leg to the rear. So that is as far as it wants to go. Now heading over to the knees and do 90, I guess that's more than 90 degrees in the upper knee joint there, and then further down, move as far down as that. So that's a pretty good bend on the knees there. Of course, armor movement and armor separation here and here. Now moving further down, this ankle armor is just attached by a ball joint here at the back. So that is as much movement as you can get from that. One disappointing aspect here in the legs is that the ankle does not want to move forward
and it can only go as far as that. Okay, so that's pretty limited. And then the entire ankle assembly can move down as much as that, and the toes here can move or can bend down further, like so. Given the design of the Epyon, some of its accessories do themselves have articulation. In particular, is this one here. This is the shield and heat whip combo. Now, for the heat whip, the articulation is provided by these swivels that are attached to hinges right here. So what it does have is up and down motion on that joint, and then 360-degree motion from those swivels. Now, previously, what Bandai did with these kind of joints is that they would just put a ball joint together. So this entire accessory would be linked by ball joints, and of course that definitely would be would offer a lot more articulation. In particular, it would be able to have swing from side to side. The way this one works is that it just moves up and down and then swivels right here. Now, this kind of design offers disadvantages and advantages. Like I said, the advantage being it is not as articulate as a series of ball joints are. However, the big advantage here is that these would hold a pose a whole lot longer than ball joints. So ball joints are notorious for loosening up over time, and the solution there would be you have to periodically retighten those joints. However, here in this pre-assembled heat whip, I think this would definitely hold a whole lot longer, or it would be able to keep posing a whole lot longer than those heat whips with ball joints in them. Another accessory of the Epyon that does have some articulation is, of course, this wire here that connects from the beam saber to the right side flap over there at the Epyon's waist. So what's nice about this cable actually is that it is stiff enough to hold the pose, but not so stiff as it would hinder the side skirt and the arm from posing. So I think this is a good balance here. It doesn't get in the way, and definitely looks nice enough in a pose. So this one's also pretty good. Talking about the most painful part for any modeler out there, how much is this thing going to cost? So this thing has a list price of 2,700 pesos, and I got it from Shopee from a shop called modelwarehouse.ph. And with vouchers, I was able to bring that down to 2,197 pesos, which is definitely a steal. If you could get it for 2,500 and below, then I would say that is a very, very good deal. Given, of course, the hype surrounding this kit and the general unavailability of it right now, since, of course, it is relatively brand new. So who is this kit for? So it's definitely for the 90s Gundam Wing fan. I mean, the looks of it captures the essence of what the Epyon was in that 90s anime. The articulation is amazing, as with all modern real grade releases. And the complexity of the build would be challenging for intermediate builders of my particular age group. So it's definitely for the 90s Gundam Wing fan. And with that, I would like to thank everybody for watching. This is Gun.Plapla. See you again in the next review. Thanks for watching. If you like that, please like and subscribe. And if you really like that, please leave a comment. Don't forget to ring the notification bell so you will be updated with all our latest builds and reviews. Follow us on Instagram at Gun.Plapla for more of our content. Thank you so much. Right, so doing transformation here, first step according to the manual is to remove the hands here. Do that right and left, and then you have to move this. There is a clasp here, and there's a clasp here that you have to disengage by moving the front skirt assembly out like that. Okay, and then you have to open this part here. It's the first time I'm doing this transformation, so all these parts are still a little too tight, so you have to open the butt flap like that, and then manual says move this entire hip assembly up. There we go. Okay, and then engage that. Move. I guess you should move this assembly here as far back as you can. Move it back. And then next step. Okay, just manually just have to fix these legs here, which would form the double dragon head. Okay, so straighten that out, just like so. All right. Then the next step here involves the wings. What you should do for the manual is to pull it down like that, and then swing it back forward. And it says here not to deploy the two wing panels here, so I'm doing that to the other side. Swing that back and move it forward again. So that is what it should look like. And then next step is here on the shield, at the rear of the shield actually. So instruction says to pull this piece off. Look. Okay, pull that piece off and then move it like that and reattach it there. So that is what it is supposed to look like. And then instruction says after that you have to attach the shield to this peg over here. Attach the shield to that peg over here. What that would look like is something like that. So, and of course, after that, you have to work on the shoulders here, moving forward, and deploy talons here. Just like that, and the rear. Whoa, okay, that wasn't supposed to come off. You're just supposed to swing it forward. There, swing it forward. Do that on the other side. Then gently swing that forward. As you just saw, it kind of tends to come off. And that is it. Also, an option here is to have the mouth open, just like that. So both sides. Complete that double-headed dragon look. Also, actually, you can pull a bit on the leg assembly at this point, at these 2 points actually, this point and that point. Just pull a bit, extend that leg a bit, and now you have a bit more articulation for the dragon's neck. So you can swing like that, side to side, move up and down. I'm not really sure the point of that articulation is, but I mean, I guess that's an option here. So you can have it a bit more dynamic. I guess it would look more like an actual neck of a dragon instead of just like the leg assembly of a mobile suit. So you can do that, and of course also extend these dragon horns forward just like that. So that is how the Epyon transforms, and that is how it looks transformed. So I'm not really sure if this appeals to you. I mean, to me, it doesn't really. And I would like to, I would prefer to display it on mobile suit mode, but that being said, the kit does give you this option. I mean, it looks cool from certain angles, but once you show the belly part of the double-headed dragon here, it is very much apparent that it is just a crumpled up Epyon. So of course I'll have some images here having this in poses, and you decide how you would prefer the Epyon pose that in mobile suit mode or in mobile armor mode. So comment down below which you think is the cooler mode, or the mode that you would have this mobile suit displayed as.